Yahushua Barakatah. We are the true Hebrew Israelites. We come out here week in and week out to wake up the lost sheep of the tribe of Israel, of the house of Israel, like the Lord told us to do in Luke 14 and 23. We come out here to wake up our people, to let you know who you are according to the Most High God, according to the Bible, what the Lord told us. The Lord told us to do this, so we do what the Lord tells us to do. If it sounds crazy to y'all, then maybe the Lord ain't for you. But we're going to go ahead and bring it out, letting you know that everybody's not your friend. Everybody, according to the world, is not your friend. Just because they live next door to you, or they were nice to you, or they gave you something, doesn't mean that they're your friend. We're going to bring out what the Lord says and who these people are, right? And we're going to start off with the book of Sirach, and we're going to start with 6 and verse 13.
This is the book of Sirach, chapter 6, verse 13. Separate yourselves from your enemies.
What the Bible say?
Separate thyself from thy enemies.
So the Lord said that we got to separate ourselves from our enemies. So this means that everybody in the world can't be your friend. So there ain't no way that we can have this big old melting pot and put everybody together. Oh yeah, like they do in the land of America. Because what did the Lord say? He said, separate thyself from thy enemies.
That's
and
right.
What else?
And take heed of thy friend.
And what?
And take heed of thy friend.
And take heed to your friend. If the so-called white man had never went to Africa and actually raped, robbed, and murdered, and then put people on ships and brought them across the land to America, will we even know white people? Will we be friends with them? No. So they would be your enemy. Your friend would be who? The so-called blacks, so-called Hispanics, so-called Native and Seminole people. That's who your friends would be.
That's right.
You would separate yourself from your enemy, and you would take heed to your friend, right? Isn't that what the Lord said? Give me 1 Maccabees 1 and 41, Baba Kasha.
It's the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 12, verse 10. Never trust thy enemy.
What the Bible say?
Never trust
thine enemy.
Right. We just read that the Lord said, take heed to who your friends are and separate yourself from your enemy. Now the Lord's going further in, telling you to what? To never trust them. You can't trust your enemy.
That's right.
Why? Because what? They raped, robbed, and murdered to get this country. And then they what? Put you at the bottom of society. They make us look like the worst people in the world, no matter what it is. So who owns the doggone news, right? The so-called white man does.
That's right.
And then they take what they see and they put a narrative on it. So they make you look terrible. The story don't even pan out the way that it was, or what the original story was by the time they done with it in the news. Like, man, Kanye West didn't do nothing but tell the truth. Kyrie told the truth.
That's right.
Of what they believe. And what happened? Oh, we got to come down on you. We got to destroy you for this. Why? Because they said that we are the true children of God. But when we calling each other niggas and spicks and coons and no good bastards and everything else under the sun and everything the rappers call us, it's cool. Don't nobody say nothing about that. I can say you a nigga all day. That's fine. But as soon as I say that you are a true child of God, oh no, we gotta stop business with you. We gotta take away everything from you. Why? Because the Bible said this.
For like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. Verse 11. Though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware
And what?
And beware
And what?
And beware of him. And thou shalt be unto him as if thou hadst wiped a looking glass.
That's right. And it should be unto you as if you wipe the looking glass. Say you in the bathroom, you taking a shower, and it's hot. It fog up the mirror. You can't really see what's going on right there at that time. But as soon as you wipe that away, you can see that clear picture. That's
right.
Exactly what they are like. This is exactly what your enemy's like. Because they come and they go crouching, meaning that they seem humble. That they act like they your friend. That they cool to you. Hey, how you doing, Chauncey? You pretty good, buddy? All right. You need anything? Soon as they leave, I hate that mother.
Right.
And they talk all behind your back.
That's right.
Talk to their friends how they want to kill you. Tell their family how I can't wait till he move out my neighborhood. Is there any way that we can get rid of him? Because you have to wipe that looking glass.
That's right.
That's exactly how these people are, man. They wicked, they evil, and they're not your friends.
That's
Let
right.
me get 2 Maccabees 6 and 6, Baba Kasha. Bring that out, Op.
This is the book of 1 Maccabees, chapter 1, verse 41. Antiochus wrote to the whole kingdom.
To the what?
To the whole kingdom.
King Antiochus wrote to the whole kingdom.
That all should be one people.
That what?
That all should be one people.
But the Lord said, separate thyself. Right. Separate from your enemies. But the king Antiochus, which is man, said what? That, hey, we should all be one people, man. Going against God. Already.
And everyone that should leave and everyone should leave his law. So all the heathen agreed.
And everyone shall leave their own law.
Right.
So you got the law of the Lord. He telling you, nah, don't listen to that.
Right.
You got to come listen to what we tell you. You got to follow the laws of America. You can't follow the laws of God no more. You got to follow the laws of America, right? And all the heathen agreed with this.
And all the heathen agreed according to the commandment of the king.
According to the commandment of who?
Of the king.
Of the king, not of the Most High God. You got to leave the laws of God, and now you got to listen to a man.
Yea, many also of the Israelites consented to his religion.
Yea, what?
Yea, many also of the Israelites consented to his religion.
Many of our people consented to that. They was fine with it. They were like, I'd rather follow man than God. And this is how we got in trouble, man. This is what put us to the bottom, man.
And sacrifice unto idols.
And did what?
And sacrifice unto idols.
And they sacrifice unto idols. Not sacrificing unto the Most High God anymore, but sacrificing unto idols. Unto rocks, unto trees, unto fat statues of Buddha. Come on, man. This is all against what the Most High God has ordained for us.
That's right.
We're sacrificing unto idols. Let me get the book of Habakkuk, chapter 1 and verse 4, Baba Bashar. Habakkuk 1 and 4.
So book of 2nd Maccabees, chapter 6, verse 6.
Bring it out.
Neither was it lawful.
Neither was it what?
Neither was it lawful for a man to keep 7 days.
Neither was it lawful for a man to keep Sabbath days. Henceforth to why the pastor can tell you that the Sabbath day is on Sunday. Even though you could look at the calendar yourself and see physically that Sunday is the first day of the week and Saturday would be the last day of the week.
Right.
But what? You weren't allowed to keep the Sabbath day. So it wasn't instilled in us to even know what the Sabbath day was. Even when looking at the calendar, we don't think about it like that. Not logically. Why? Because they beat logic out of us in slavery, man.
That's right.
They beat logic out of us. We're giving us their school system. They beat logic out of us. We're giving us their TV shows.
That's right.
That's why. Read that again from the top.
Book of 2nd Maccabees, chapter 6, verse 6. Neither was it lawful for a man to keep Sabbath days, or ancient feasts, or to profess himself at all to be a Jew.
So what they do to Kyrie, what they do to Kanye, you weren't allowed to profess at all that you were a Jew.
Right.
That same thing that happened back then is the same thing that's happening now.
That's
the Lord
right.
said that there's nothing new under the sun. The same thing that they did to our people back then is the same thing they do to our people now.
That's right.
You are not allowed to profess yourself a Jew. And what else,
Verse 7. And in the day of the king's birth.
And in the day of the king's birth, which we don't keep birthdays, but now in the king's birth, what?
Every month they were brought by bitter constraint to eat the sacrifices, and when the fast of Bacchus was kept, the Jews were compelled to go in possessing of Bacchus, carrying ivy.
Karen, what?
Carrying ivy.
We had to do unto their king. We had to keep his birthday. We had to sacrifice or eat unto sacrificed animals, pig, to doggone underwater abominations like shrimp, crab, lobster.
That's
We had
right.
to do what their kings told us to do. We couldn't even profess who we were anymore. We was just things then, or whatever they called us then.
That's right.
We wasn't allowed to be a real true Jew. We had to be black, African American, a nigger.
Teacher.
We couldn't be anything that the Lord told us that we were. We had to be everything that they said. Otherwise, what? You was
That's
gonna be
right.
whipped, beat, put to death. Something bad was gonna happen to you, right?
Right.
Right. If you didn't follow their laws and their rules, right?
Right.
Bring that out, Doc.
This is the book of Habakkuk, chapter 1,
3 and 1.
verse 4.
Bring it out.
Therefore the law is slack.
Therefore what?
Therefore the law is slack, and judgment doth never go forth.
The law is slack and judgment doth never go forth. Why? Because we don't run the world like we're supposed to. The enemy runs the world. So therefore the law is slack, right? And judgment never goes forth. So if a policeman comes up and shoots a so-called black man and says, oh dang, I thought he had a gun, he really had a phone, they don't get in trouble for that. They kill the innocent. They beat us down, they destroy us. He don't get in trouble for that. That lady walked up in that man's house while he was eating cereal, watching TV, and she a policeman. She supposedly thought that there was somebody that broke in her house. She killed this man. They didn't give her the time that they would have gave you or me.
No, heck no.
Why? Because the Bible said what? Read it from the top.
The book of Habakkuk, chapter 1, verse 4. Therefore the law is slack.
Because the law is slack. That's why she didn't get no time like she was supposed to.
And judgment don't never go forth.
And the judgment that she should have got didn't go forward like it was supposed to.
That's right.
For the wicked don't compass about the righteous.
For the wicked do what?
Compass about the
They
righteous.
sure do. Every chance they get, they are more and more wicked, and they can pass about the righteous. They put nothing but evil before good. It's okay for you to be somebody's mom and be like, oh, look, I got 2 twin boys. At the age of 2, I'm going to start my twin son believing that he's a girl. And I'm going to raise him up to be a girl. How confusing is that to this little boy that has a twin brother? And y'all raising him as a boy, and y'all raising me as a girl? I just read about that story today before I came out to camp. And that's crazy. And she's a pediatrician. So what else is she teaching these people? And her husband was like, man, I don't think that's right. I think that you should teach him he's a boy. And she's like, nah, we're raising him as a girl. Then she ended up getting full custody of it. Why? Because the evil, the wicked can pass the righteous. That's why. They're allowed to pass these laws like that. Go ahead.
Therefore wrong judgment proceedeth.
Therefore what?
Wrong judgment proceedeth.
Why can she say that her son is a woman?
Therefore wrong judgment proceedeth.
That's why. Because wrong judgment proceeds, man. It's nothing but evil and wicked, man. It ain't nothing but dirtiness here, right?
Right.
Because people conform to the ways of this world. That's why. Let me get 2nd Esdras 2 and 36, Baba Kashaf. 2nd Esdras 2:36.
This is the book of Nahum, chapter 3 from the top. Woe to the bloody city!
What the Bible say?
Woe to the bloody city!
What's about to happen to America?
Woe to the bloody city!
Woe in the Bible, anytime you see it, means destruction. The Lord said, woe to this bloody city. Why is it the bloody city? Because how did they get America? How did they get this land that they call America, the United States? By blood. By killing and raping over 100 million Native Americans. That's how. So woe to the bloody city. Destruction unto you.
It is all full of lies.
It is what?
It is all full of lies.
No, they tell the truth here.
It is all full of lies. And robbery, the prey departeth not.
That's right. And it's all full of lies and robbery. But the prey departeth not. Why? Because the so-called good guy will destroy you. The so-called good guy will come and kill you in your own house and say that, oh, well, I thought he was a robber. Oh, I thought that she didn't live here. You didn't even ask. You just pulled your gun out, pow, pow, pow. Immediately. You just pulled out your weapon and pow, pow, pow. And that was it. You just laid us down. Let me get Sirach 4 and 22, Baba Kashaf. Y'all just boom, 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 and that's it. Y'all is just wicked and evil, but what do? They call good evil and evil good. And the Lord said, woe unto the people that do that.
The book of 2nd Esdras, chapter 2, verse 36. Flee the shadow of this world.
Nah, we should conform to what America tells us what to do.
Flee the shadow of this world.
Nah, I should act just like Americans do.
Flee the shadow of this world.
That's right. The Lord said, flee the shadow of this world. Get up out of there. Don't act like they act. Don't do what they do. You shouldn't be in their ways at all, man. Flee the shadow of this world.
That's right.
Be not of them. Don't act the way that they act. Don't do what they do, man. Don't compel your children to do what they do. Don't start acting like them. Don't start showing your ways to be like them. Why? Because woe to this bloody city.
Right.
Is what the Lord said.
Right.
He said, woe unto the bloody city, man.
That's right.
Right? The Lord said that this is a wicked, nasty nation. It's a disgusting place. Right? Where the king wants everybody to be all together in one little melting pot. But the Lord told us to separate from thy enemy.
That's right.
We got to separate ourselves. And we have to do what?
Flee the shadow of this world. Receive the joyfulness of your glory.
And do what?
Receive the joyfulness of your glory.
The only way we're going to receive the joyfulness of our glory is if we what? Flee the shadow of this world.
That's right.
That's the only way we're going to get the joyfulness of our glory is if we flee the shadow of this world, right? That's what we got to do. We got to flee the shadow of this world. We got to get up out of here, man. We can't be in this place. We got to get away from here, right?
Yep.
We got to get out of here. Let me get Ecclesiastes 4 and 13, Baba Kasha.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 4 verse 22.
Bring it out.
Accept no man, accept no person against thy soul.
What the Bible say?
Accept no person against thy soul.
That's right. You can't let no man choose where your soul's going to go. You don't accept no person against your soul. Why?
Right.
Because the Lord told you to keep your laws, statutes, and commandments. He told you what to do. He didn't say give your soul off to somebody else. Don't give your soul to no other man. Go ahead.
And let not the reverence of any man cause thee to fall.
And let what?
And let not the reverence of any man cause thee to fall.
Right. Don't follow after man is what the Lord's telling you. Don't follow after man. You have to follow after the Lord's laws, statutes, and commandments.
That's right.
Not after man. Man will have you fall into a hole. He will have you fall into a trap. Man will look at you after you fell in that trap and be like, whoop, at least it ain't me.
Right.
This is what the Lord is telling you. Don't let anybody take your soul away from you.
That's right.
Don't let them take away your chance to get into the kingdom.
That's right.
Right? Read that from the top, huh?
The book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 4, verse 22.
Bring it out.
Accept no person against thy soul, and let not the reverence of any man cause thee to fall.
And let not the reverence of any man cause thee to fall. You can't allow that to happen, man. Because the Lord said that he don't deal with sinners. He hates sinners, man. He don't deal with them at all. Let me get John 9:31, Baba Kasha.
The book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 4, verse 13.
Bring it out.
Bring it out.
Better is a poor and a better is a poor and wise child
Better is a poor and wise child than what?
than an old and foolish king.
Than a what?
Than an old and foolish king.
Right. Better is a poor and wise child, somebody that has nothing, but they understand the laws, the statutes, and commandments of God. I don't have anything physically in this world, but I still understand. I have that wiseness of the Lord. I have that wisdom from the Lord, right? Better is a poor and wise child than a old and what?
And foolish king.
And a foolish king. Why? Because he will not accept the laws of God. Why?
That's right.
Because he think he's somebody just because he a king. He like, I'm the king of this. I run this. That could be just a simple man that worked for the post office. That'd be like, it's my kingdom. I run this house. Ha ha! This is mine. Right. And he's a fool.
That's right.
But better is a poor and wise child than an old foolish king. Right?
That's
'Cause
right.
I'd rather be that poor wise child, because then I know that I'm doing right. I'm doing righteously under the Lord by keeping the law, statutes, and commandments.
That's right.
And I'm not worried about no Sunday football. I'm not worried about, oh, well, this is my kingdom and this is all I get is this apartment with these 2 bedrooms. Nah, I want one of the mansions that the Bible mentions in Revelations. Like, Christ said that my Father has many mansions.
Right.
That's right.
I want to be one of those children that get one of those. Lord willing, I will. All praises to the Most High. Khan?
To the Most High.
Khan?
God.
All praises to the Most High God. I want to be one of those children, man. That's what I want to be. Let me get Romans 2 and 13, Baba Kasha.
It's the book of John, chapter 9, verse 31.
Bring it out.
Now we know that God heareth not sinners.
What the Bible say?
Now we know that God heareth not sinners. But if any man be a worshiper of God,
But if any man be what?
a worshiper of God, and doeth his will, him he heareth.
That's right. Because the Bible just said that we know that God heareth not sinners. Right? That was that old foolish king we just read about. God wasn't hearing anything that he had to say. God wasn't on his side. He just allowed him to live for a little while. But then it goes forward to say that if any man hear God and doeth his will, him he heareth. That was that poor and wise child that we talking about, man. He heard the words of the Most High God and he followed after them.
That's right.
So that's who the Lord is dealing with. He's dealing with those that listen and follow after him. That's who the Lord is dealing with. If you're not listening to the Most High God and you're not following after the Most High God, then he's not dealing with you. That's just the facts. That's just how it goes down. That's just how the cookie crumbles. I'm sorry. That's just how it is, man. Right? Let me get John 6 and 36, Baba Kasha.
This is the book of Romans, chapter 2, verse 13.
Bring it out.
For not the hearers of the law are justified before God, but the doers of the law.
What the who?
But the doers of the law.
What the who?
But the doers of the law.
Read that again from the top.
Romans chapter 2, verse 13. For not the hearers of the law are just before God.
Right. Not the hearers of the law. Like the Bible said, him that heareth and do the will, then him he heareth. Like the Bible said right now in Romans. Not the read that out.
For not the hearers of the law are just before God.
Not the hearers of the law. You can't just hear this word. You have to apply it to your life daily.
That's right.
But the doers of the law shall be justified.
That's right. But the doers of the law, the doers of the law, the doers of the law shall be justified. Let me get Colossians 3 and 25, Baba Kasha.
It's the book of John, chapter 6, verse 36.
Bring it out.
But I say unto you that ye also have seen me, and believe not.
You also have seen Christ, because there's many people that have also seen Christ. They lived here while he lived here. I wish I would have lived here while he lived here. I wish I would have been able to see him, right? But they still didn't believe.
37. All that the Father giveth me shall come to me, and him that cometh to me I will in no wise cast out.
That's right. The Lord said, look, the Lord has given me my portion, and my portion is Israel. And the Lord said that everything that the Lord has given, my Father has given me, I'm not going to get rid of it. So as long as you keep your laws, your statutes, and commandments, y'all will get one of those mansions. You will rule over the doggone nations. But you have to do, thus saith the Lord. You can't be doing, thus saith the man. You can't be doing, thus saith the foolish king. You have to do, thus saith Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Barakatah. That's who you have to do. That's what you have to go after. That's how you have to live.
That's right.
You have to live after the Lord. That's what you got to do. Let me get Zechariah 1 and 15, Baba Kasha. Zechariah 1:15.
The book of Colossians chapter 3, verse 25.
Bring it out.
But he that doeth wrong shall receive for the wrong which he has done.
But he that doeth wrong will receive for the wrong that he's done. We just heard for the doer that does well and follows after the commandments, he's going to get good. He's going to get righteousness. He's going to get what the Lord told him he's going to have. But the doer that doeth wrong, he going to get punished for the wrong that he's done. He going to get that butt whooped. That's like when your mama told you to do something and you ain't do it and she whooped you. That's the exact same thing. Where you think that come from? It come from the Most High God. If you don't do what he tells you, then he will chasten you. Read that from the top.
He that, but he that doeth wrong shall receive for the wrong which he hath done. And there is no respect of person.
And there's what?
And there is no respect of person.
No, everybody don't get judged the same.
And there is no respect of person.
That's right. If you're a wrongdoer, the Lord's going to pay you for that wrong that you've done.
That's right.
Right? Let me get Amos 1 and 11, Bobby Kashah.
Zechariah chapter 1 verse 15.
Bring it out.
And I am very sore displeased with the heathen.
These are the ones that have done wrong. The Lord said those that have done wrong will be paid for the wrong that they've done. And the Lord's telling you who it is.
That's
Read
right.
it from the top.
Zechariah chapter 1 verse 15. And I am very sore displeased with the heathen.
And the heathen is a non-Israelite nation. Anybody that ain't on this sign, you a heathen.
Thou art at ease, for I was but a little displeased.
The Lord said that they at ease. They are, because they look at their buildings. Look at what they got. All their little money, all their little boats, all their little towns, the stuff that they get to do, right? But the Lord said he's sore displeased with them.
And they help forward the affliction. Verse 16. Therefore thus said the Lord, I am returned to Jerusalem.
I am what?
I am returned to Jerusalem
Back to the Israelites.
with mercy. My house shall be built in it, said the Lord of hosts.
That's right. He said, I come back to y'all with mercy, and my house will be built in there, in that mercy. We're the third temple that he's talking about. It's not a physical building. Why? Because the Lord told you in Acts 7:48 that I don't dwell in temples made by hands. Right? He ain't in there. He ain't dwelling in them temples made by hands. Let me get Psalms 139, verse 19, Baba Kashah. Go ahead, bring that out, Doc.
This is the book of Amos, chapter 1, verse 11.
Bring it out.
Thus saith the Lord, for 3 transgressions of Edom.
For what?
For 3 transgressions of Edom.
And they can't figure out who they are. Everybody has a nation, a nationality in the Bible. But as soon as you ask Esau who he is in the Bible, you give him all the hints in the world. I don't know who that sounds like. It's you. You were given a blessing of the fatness of the earth and the dew from heaven. You know, like if we catch rainwater, we get in trouble because it's y'all's rainwater. That's what y'all say. And y'all have the sword, which is a weapon. Y'all shoot people down in the streets with guns. You don't get the same time that somebody named Raheem would get. You don't get the same time as somebody named Hector would get if he shot somebody down with a gun. Why? Because Esau, you have 3 transgressions. No, 4 transgressions against you from the Lord.
And for 4, I will not turn away the punishment thereof.
He will not what?
I will not turn away the punishment thereof.
That's right. The Lord ain't going to turn away your punishment, Edom.
Because he did pursue his brother.
Because he what?
Because he did
Pursue his brother.
Esau did pursue Jacob.
That's right.
with the sword.
With the what?
With the sword.
With that weapon that we was talking about. He pursued his brother with a sword.
And did cast off all pity.
And did what?
And did cast off all pity.
He cast off all pity because they used to take our babies and use them as alligator bait. They would take the old man and the old woman and work them their fingers to the bone till they couldn't even walk or move around anymore, right?
That's right.
And his anger did tear perpetually.
And his what?
And his anger did tear perpetually.
And his anger tore perpetually, meaning that it's still going forward. That it's on forever. Perpetual means forever. His anger went forward perpetually towards his brother, right?
And he kept his wrath forever.
And he kept his wrath what?
And he kept his wrath forever.
Just for a little bit.
And he kept his wrath forever.
That's right. He kept his wrath forever. It's perpetual hate. The so-called white man hates the black man forever. The so-called white man hates the Hispanic man forever. The so-called white man hates the so-called Native and Seminole Indian man forever. Because it's a perpetual hatred.
That's right.
They have that spirit on them and it can't be changed. That's just what it is. The Lord said that that's who y'all are. Well, that's who y'all are. The Lord said that that's what you gonna do. Guess what? That's what you gonna do.
That's right.
That's all that you get. You don't get anything different. You can't be anything different. You can't be anything better. The Lord said that that perpetual hatred is what you're gonna have forever. This is your kingdom. Live it up. If you're a so-called white person, live it up. This is your kingdom. You a so-called Asian person, live it up. This is your kingdom. You a so-called Arab, live it up. This is your kingdom. Y'all ain't gonna get nothing better.
Right.
You don't get heaven. You don't get it. Y'all don't. Y'all can't get it. Why? Because the Lord told you who heaven was for. Give me Revelation 21 and 12, Baba Kasha. Let's see who heaven is for. Because this is exactly the last book of the Bible, New Testament. The Lord tells you who heaven is for. Start at 10, Baba Kasha. Start at 10. Bring it out.
Revelation chapter 21, verse 10.
Bring it out.
And he carried me away in the spirit to a great and high mountain.
Now this is John the Revelator explaining what he sees while he's in the presence of the angels.
And showed me the great city.
And show me what?
The great city.
Okay.
The holy Jerusalem.
The holy Jerusalem. This is the new heaven. This is what the Lord's talking about. That great city, the new heaven.
Descending out of the heaven from God. Having the glory of God. And her lights were like unto a stone, most precious, even like a jasper, clear and crystal. Verse 12. And had a wall great and high.
So this is a beautiful looking city, right? Clear like jasper, like crystals. It's beautiful. Your mind can't even fathom it, right? It had a wall great and high.
And had 12 gates.
It had how many gates?
12 gates.
How many gates are there in the kingdom of heaven?
12 gates.
But the church will tell you there's one pearly gate. The Bible tells you that there's 12 gates. The pastor has this book and he can read it verbatim, but he still tells you that there's one pearly gate to get in.
Right.
When the Bible tells you that there's 12 gates.
That's right.
Why is there 12 gates?
And at the gates 12 angels.
And then there's an angel at each gate. Why? Why would there be an angel at each gate? Because everybody's not allowed in, that's why.
That's right.
Because the angel at each one of them gates is a bouncer. So that means that everybody ain't allowed into the kingdom of heaven.
And names written thereon.
And there's names written on each gate. Whose names are these, Ak?
Which are the names of the 12 tribes of the children of Israel.
But I thought everybody was allowed to go into heaven. I thought everybody was allowed to go to heaven. La-ah. Everybody's not allowed to go to heaven. That's why there's 12 gates and there's 12 tribes of Israel.
That's right.
That's why there's the 12 names of the tribes of Israel on them 12 gates.
Right.
Because everybody is not welcome into the kingdom. Only those who the Lord have chose. And who are the chosen of the Lord? Give me Acts 2 and 21, Baba Kasha.
It's the book of Psalms, chapter 139, verse 19.
Bring it out.
Surely thou wilt slay the wicked.
Surely thou will what?
Surely thou wilt slay the wicked. O God, depart from me, therefore ye bloody men.
Depart from me, you bloody men. This is what King David said, our forefathers.
Verse 20, for they speak against thee wickedly.
Were they what?
For they speak against thee wickedly.
Right, so this is what the other nations do to us. They speak against us wickedly.
And thy enemies take thy name in vain. Verse 21, do not I hate them, O Lord?
The enemies take the Lord's name in vain, and they'll call him stuff like Jesus. They call him stuff like God. That just means power. He has a name. He tells us his name in the Bible, and his name is Yahweh, right? He tells us that his name is Yahweh, right? They take his name in vain. And King David said, yet I hate them, O Lord.
That hate thee.
I hate them that hate you, God. I hate anybody that hates you, God.
And am not I craving them those that rise up against thee?
Right, and I am grieving against those that rise up against thee.
Verse 22, I hate them with perfect hatred.
I hate them with what?
With perfect hatred.
I hate them with what?
With perfect hatred.
But they say God is all love. But the Lord taught us to even hate. The Lord showed us to hate. The only ones he loves is the Israelites.
Right.
The so-called blacks, so-called Hispanics, so-called Native and Seminole Indians, That's the only ones that the Lord loves. That's it.
That's right.
He don't love everybody.
That's it.
The Lord said that we hate our enemies with a perfect hatred.
That's right.
Just like that devil right there. You can keep giving the finger because this is the end of your kingdom. That's all you're going to get is that little bit of time right there.
That's
it.
right.
Because Edom is done and over with. The wicked will perish very, very soon. Why? Because we have a chosen race. There's a chosen people that the Lord loves. Give me Deuteronomy 7 and 6.
And this is the book of Acts, chapter 2, verse 21. And it shall come to pass that whosoever shall call upon the name of the Lord shall be saved.
All right, that means everybody close the book and we done. Let's go ahead and dance a jig and eat some pork outside. Hold up, wait, you said there's more on that?
There's more.
Oh, okay, well, read it again from the top and I guess put that extra on there.
The book of Acts, chapter 2, verse 21. And it shall come to pass that whosoever shall call on the name of the Lord shall be saved. Ye men of Israel.
Who?
Ye men of Israel. Hear these words.
I thought the Lord was talking to everybody.
Nah,
And is this Old Testament or New Testament?
New Testament.
That's New Testament?
New Testament.
Oh, man. I thought the Lord did away with the Israelites. And he chose everybody. When the Lord says, I have chose only the Israelites. It is only the Israelites that the Lord has chosen.
That's right.
That is it. There is nobody else. Give me Amos 3 and 1.
Book of Deuteronomy, chapter 7, verse 6.
Bring it out.
For thou art an holy people.
What the Bible say?
For thou art an holy people.
Right, we set apart from the rest of you heathen.
That's right.
Unto the Lord thy God, the Lord thy God has chosen thee to be a special people.
So we're a special people. That's why we're able to create everything, dance better, make food. That's why we're able to do everything better than anybody else on the land.
That's
Unto
right.
himself.
Unto what?
Unto himself.
Unto what?
Unto himself.